interesting lighting. A little bit dramatic. Probably should turn the other light on. So today we are checking out the glorious PC Gaming Race Tenkeyless full RGB backlit keyboard. Last year I checked out their full-size keyboard, which was the previous design, and it did not have full RGB backlighting. But other than the backlighting, they have also changed a few things. They have a removable cable this time. They have macro recording software this time. And they've also tweaked the design of the plate just a little bit to fit switches in a lot better. Last year, there was a couple that got stuck on me and they didn't fit in quite so smoothly. Some of them were a little bit too tight. So the backlighting is still SMD-LED, so you're going to want to switch with a clear housing so the backlighting will show through if you care about the RGB backlighting. Other than that, you have anything from Cherry, Gateron, TKL is compatible with this keyboard, and they have 6 different Gateron versions to choose from on their website if you want to pick up a switch pack from them. So you have Gateron black, brown, blue, clear, green, and red. I'm just reading my notes over there. But this particular one is pre-assembled with Gateron brown. I also have a Cherry switch here, a Automu blue switch here, which they don't actually advertise that it's compatible with this, but the pin arrangement is the same, so technically it should work. And then I also have a TKL box brown to check out and see if it works with this. So let's check out what's inside. We have a user guide. Fun, fun. We've got how to replace the switches. I'll show you. It's pretty easy. Some of their other products here. Some of the products I reviewed, if you want to check out the wrist rests. I've got a video on that. Other than that, let's check out the keyboard itself. Ooh, a sticker for you. And anything else in the box? We've got your additional escape key, because I give you a red ascend key, of course. You've got your gold-plated removable braided cable this time. So that's kind of nice. They changed that about the keyboard. It's removable now. This is the switch remover. And then this guy appears to be just a right angle adapter for micro USB if you're interested. So the design, pretty much the same. You still have the sandblasted aluminum plate / case. The bottom of the case is plastic. You still have the shiny beveled edge. On the Tenkeyless model here, you see that the indicator LEDs, which are red LEDs, are going to be right above your arrow keys. Other than that, very nice, compact design. I could see this on my desk. You've got your 4 rubber feet, plus the rubber on the flip-out feet, which I do like to see. And a little spot for your key puller tool, which, again, I prefer the wire type pullers. I don't like the plastic ones. Don't really like those. They scratch up your keycaps, that's why. Now, another difference, another change I see here. The keycaps are double shot ABS. Last time they had keycaps with a very shiny side to them. I didn't like that at all. I thought it was a little bit too much, especially you've already got the shiny factor going on with the beveled edge here, so the keycaps certainly didn't need to be that way. And let's check out the thickness of these. These are ABS double shot, 1.03 millimeters. So if we look at a thicker PBT keycap, 1.4 millimeters. Obviously a little bit thinner than a PBT keycap, but still nonetheless they are double shot, so the lettering is never going to fade on you, and they're semi-transparent so the backlighting will shine through. Let's check out the weight. About 25 ounces, and change that to grams for you guys. 700 grams. And dimensions. This guy is 14 inches wide, 5 inches tall. Well, that's the other dimension, 5 inches. And looks like we got 1.5, including the keycaps. And about 1 7/8 with the flip-out feet. So, that's that. Otherwise, I like the changes that they did. I like the fact that these keycaps are not shiny anymore. Gatoron browns are always great. The only thing I don't like about it so far is the stabilizer. Very, very rattly. Ooh, those are so rattly. I don't know if that would help if you did lube your stabilizers, which I did do a video on that as well. I might have to give that a try on this board, because that is a loud stabilizer. On your function keys, you've got Windows Explorer, Internet, Calculator, Media Player, and your media control, so everything from reverse, play, pause, stop, and volume adjustment. You can also swap between 6-key rollover and unlimited key rollover. And other than that, it's all to do with backlighting. So let's check out the backlighting, shall we? Alright, so to adjust your animation speed, you use the right arrow and the left arrow. And then brightness is up arrow or down arrow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of brightness. 5 if you include off. And then you have all of your different modes right here on the insert, delete, home, and page up, page down area. So breathe has 3 modes. Wave 1 has 3 modes. So on some of these modes, you can change the direction by pressing function plus the negative or hyphen sign. And of course, on any of these modes, you can change the color by pressing this RGB button. There's 8 color options plus rainbow. For the custom mode, you press function plus tilde. Function plus tilde again to start setting the mode. And then function plus RGB to change the color. And it'll show you a color representation on the tilde key. And then you can go ahead and select what keys you'd like to be that color, simply by tapping on them. When you're done, you press function tilde again, and it's all set in place. Let's take a look at the software here. So just click the macro button at the top here to add a macro. Click your plus button, click the record button, click the record button again to stop, and everything else you can delete, clear, that's pretty self-explanatory. Top, up, down, bottom, that's all just to get through this list a little bit faster. Record delay, that's going to supposedly match the delay as you're typing, basically your typing speed. I haven't found that to be true, however. This plays it back a lot slower. And then if you have that unchecked, it's going to put a default delay of 50 milliseconds, which is also pretty slow, and I can't seem to find a setting where you could change that delay. So anyway, I don't think this is really the greatest macro recording software. You can press any key here if you want to change just a single key. You can find your macro in this drop-down list. Or you could even have some different media control, browser control, calculator, mail, just different things. Anyway, we're going to try the macro. Click OK. Click Apply. Let's open up Notepad here. And as you can see, it plays it back a lot slower than I typed it. So I think this is kind of unusable macro software. Oh yeah, and then it also does weird things like that. So I would use something like Auto Hotkey. Anyway, the reason you would install this software is the LED backlighting. So you can go ahead and click Enabled. You have everything, every effect in this drop-down list to control the brightness, speed, or even direction of all these various effects. Colorful, of course, that changes it from your custom color to a rainbow effect. And then custom, if we go here, you can change each individual key. That's your erase tool or your write tool. A basic color, that just changes everything at once. And then you can add in one color at a time. Oops, I just accidentally just did Christmas colors. Whoops. Of course, they have some different settings, like first-person shooters versus MMOs, MOBAs, RTS. Apparently none of these are different. In any case, you can do all of this using the keyboard itself. You don't necessarily need the software. The only reason to use the software would be able to have this default color picker. So you have a lot more control with the color options. To sum it all up, I think a lot of people are going to like this keyboard, especially if they're just starting to get their feet wet in the mechanical keyboard game. They can swap out the switches to their liking, give different switches a try, and see how they like them. And technically, if they were smart about it, they wouldn't get another keyboard, except maybe a Topper board, because you obviously can't swap the switches out with this. The only difference for me, I guess, would be that it is all aluminum and plastic. It's not a bad build quality, but for me in particular, I do like base steel plate. Just adds a little bit more weight and rigidity, but that's like a super nitpicky preference thing. The stabilizers are really rattly. That is one thing that I noticed, but you could add a little bit of lube. I think it'll fix them up. I'm going to give that a try. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. And the backlighting looks great too. Though it is SMD-LED backlighting, it's not going to be the brightest backlighting in the world. It makes it compatible with switch swapping, because otherwise you wouldn't never be able to do that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and as always, please rate, comment, and subscribe.